Okay, so you're either watching this live through the Zoom streaming, watching the replay on YouTube afterwards, or you are dialed in via phone, or you're listening to the recording afterwards on Podomatic or iTunes. That's a lot of fucking options. And I got a couple of questions for you guys. The first one is my very first question right here tonight. It took me a second. I got distracted because you're on my right side and I see you here on my left side. But anyway, the question is, what was I using when doing pickup in 1995? There's a video on YouTube if you didn't see it, because I reposted it today, called Vince Kelvin 1995 Paris Pool, a recording of me pulling a girl. And then the second part is super funny too. It's a couple years after that in Washington, D.C., in front of the White House. But if you know your pickup community history, there was no community in 1995. So how was I pulling a girl in 1995? What was I using? Was I using the mystery method? It didn't exist back then. Was I even using speed seduction? It didn't exist back then. Okay? So, humbly said so, I was ahead of my time. Now, if you watch the video, sure, there's a pool, and if you were alive and my age in 1995, maybe you were there with the girl. But there's a couple other things that come into play. The person filming keeps on saying, there he goes again. That means that they were witnessing me picking up one girl after the other. Okay, you see two interactions in that clip. And then both the guy filming and his wife who's next to him, they keep on laughing, going, there he goes at it again. So that means in 1995, I was doing back to back to back pickup non-stop. You'll see when you watch the video, the way they're laughing about it, it's obvious that I was doing it all the time already. So what method was I using back then? Another interesting part of the video is that I mentioned that I had a girlfriend at home, and you see a couple pictures of her, a famous adult film star. So here I am doing pickup when my girlfriend is a famous adult film star, and all of that is in 1995. Now here's my second question to you. My second question, which I will ask you, how old were you in 1995?
I was 5.
Five. My current girlfriend was 5 years old in 1995. How old were you in 1995? Even if you, like me, were in your 20s, then it's okay. So why am I bringing this up today? Well, because I witnessed the birth of this pickup community. And right now you're in one of 4 categories. This is something you're discovering right now. You don't know much about, one guy is saying that he was 3 years old back then. So maybe you shouldn't call yourself a newbie, because you're not new at life. And we can today, with what we know, accelerate your progress and get you results before you know it. So that terminology of I'm a newbie, yes, don't be the arrogant guy who shows up and go, hey, you teach me something. Hello, I've been doing it for nearly 3 decades. No, show a little fucking respect. But you shouldn't act like you're new at life. Too many guys, they're new at this thing, but you're not new at life. You communicate every day. There's no element of what you do in pickup, whether it's with your hands, with your body language, the words that you use. It's a unique structure that you need to know. But beyond that, there's nothing that's from another planet or that you don't already do on a regular basis. So stop acting like you're so new and give yourself the permission to succeed super fast. So maybe you're in that category where you're just now discovering this. Perhaps you're in the second category of, yeah, you're starting to do okay, but we need to take you beyond that. And what will take you beyond that is to let go of a lot of the pollution that wrapped itself around that pickup community. misconception, people selling false frames, you know, suddenly in 1995, we didn't know the combination of words approach, anxiety. Didn't use the word approach and didn't put anxiety with it. It was obvious that it was not always super comfortable, but we didn't sit and make a big deal and start to go, my problem is that I have approach anxiety. But so many people then develop programs around that and sat on it like, well, I'm working on my anxiety, that it polluted. So if you're new or you're starting to get pretty good, I want to help you to let go of those false frames and share with you the 4 pillars of what I did before I take questions in 2000. In 2000. See, it's so long ago that I'm still thinking 2000. Darling, you're using this as a mirror. You're looking at yourself like, oh, look at me, how pretty I am. That's adorable. Girls in front of a camera. But in 1995, okay, third category. You're fairly advanced, but you still have a but. Well, we're going to eliminate that but. There is no but. You're free to thrive today. Because for me, in 1991, I got in a lot of trouble. I hit a rock bottom. I married a girl who went completely berserk, insane. She was a kleptomaniac. She got arrested. She had a crazy family. And it was a total disaster. It was the most toxic relationship I've ever had, okay? And it brought me to a place where I wasn't doing much until she passed away. So for a period of time, I wasn't doing anything, but the moment I started to do something, it came together in one shot. So I want to produce that for you guys. We have a lot of the members of our groups. I'll maybe bring a few on camera in a second. Members of our group that are going through the accelerated program, where you're with me a little bit every single day. Every Monday, we open the door to the general public, but we got that going on every other night, 7 days a week. And that is what it takes. What is the fourth group I was talking about? It's guys that started maybe not in 1995, but started in the early days. And what's funny, you know, I'm going to stand up for this one, but I got a little intrigued because I went to 2 cities where I haven't gone in a while, and I'm about to go to London. I went to San Francisco and New York, and I rekindled with some of the guys from 5 or 10 years ago that were part of the community, you know, using different techniques and so on, not necessarily my students, some of them, many touch a little bit on everything, which I think is kind of a mistake. You want to find a source and master that. But the interesting thing was that a lot of those guys, where are they now, 5, 10 years after? Well, a lot of those guys, they're either coming back to game or not much. A couple did very well with it, but for a lot of guys, something was missing initially that got them to places that eventually they didn't make all the headways they could, because they were missing on the 4 core pillars that got me started myself. I wrote them down on the board, and so far you're gonna have trouble seeing it, but at least I have that as a reference, and I'm gonna be cool. We're gonna post a picture, or you send me a quick email, vince@seductioncoaching.com, vince@seductioncoaching.com, and I'll send you happily a couple free recordings, some really top stuff about touch and different topics, and I will also send you a picture of this. So the first thing that worked for me, and you can write it down, somebody write it down, is the principle that I got from my mentors, not in the pickup community, because there was no pickup community back then, but in the motivation self-help field, okay, which is the principle of peak performance. That is very simple, okay? There's a couple elements to it, but peak performance will revolutionize your reality. It got me to realize fairly rapidly that every day you're at a place of choice. There's a margin no matter what, no matter how we feel, no matter what we did before, no matter where you're at in your life, you're not stuck just a certain way. You have room to grow immediately. Immediately. There's basically 3 positions. All of us, it's easy to suddenly feel a little bit miserable, okay? And I've done a world record of that through my life, enough to be able to see it and say, enough. See, you can approach whatever you're approaching in life from a place, yeah, I know, I should. If you're a little bit passive, if you're more aggressive, oh man, you know, that fucking sucks, and so on. And that's available at any time. It's already here. You know, if we pay attention to the wrong thing on any given day, it's easy to go there. So the problem is that many enter that thing of pickup. They want to do better with women, but they're coming from that lower place of lower energy, playing the role of almost like a victim. Yeah, you know, I should, I haven't. It's that lower energy. Then, and it's not something that you are or you are not. That option is there any given time. Then there's the in-between place where there's a little bit of a yes, but a but. A lot of guys, they go, yeah, I do okay at night, but not during the day, or vice versa. Oh, you know, I'm okay with 6 or 7s, but not with 10s. That's silly that, yeah, up, down, up, down. It's easy. I mean, you have plenty reason on any given day to kind of be in between. Oh man, I feel good today, but I gotta work, and so on. And then there's the place where we get hungry. We go, I want more, and I'm ready to give a little bit more no matter how I feel right now. Now, it would be foolish to think that you're stuck in just the bottom one or the middle one. So for me, the gift that I got from all of the peak performers that I was studying with at the time, Tony Robbins, Brian Tracy, all those guys, maybe not in one shot, but I rapidly realized, hey, you have the option of those 3 positions. If you enter it from the bottom, you're fucked. If you're in an in-between, you're kind of in between. But if you realize I have the ability to choose today to do a little bit more than most, to do it a little bit more upbeat than most, energy is a choice. I choose to give it my all to feel better. I re-entered that area of dealing with women after 4 years of not much or a lot of frustration from that perspective, and magic started to happen. So take that gift today and know that any interaction, or even before the interaction, this will be found at 3 places, guys. When you think about your current condition with women or whatever you want in life, if you enter it from that place of, it's going to be very difficult, it's going to be nearly impossible, and it's only going to get worse. If you enter it from a place of an in-between, you're going to be on and off. You're going to be the next guy who's going to go, yeah, you know, some days I feel it, some days I don't. If you get hungry, if you decide a real decision, if you make that choice right now, and you say, okay, until this has been bothering me, I'm not where I want to be with women, I choose to change this today, no matter what, I'm going all the way, I'm not going to come back on this decision. Make this decision today. And even if you made it yesterday, make it again, stronger today. I'm so excited today. 1995 was what? Hello, 24 fucking years ago, correct? Yeah. 24 years ago. And I'm more excited about this idea of thriving with love, sex, romance, pickup, seduction, being a true Casanova than I've ever been before. And I've cracked one code after another. So you guys are lucky. This is now the perfect time to simplify, to save some time. A lot of guys, they go, well, I read the game. Hey, what kind of fucking cell phone were you using in the days that the game was written? So of course, based on that solid foundation of those 4 pillars, I've optimized, simplify, and what I see today, okay, is men that are totally capable. It's possible for you right here, right now, but you're missing out because you're missing a couple basics. So peak performance. Make that choice as a man. that you owe it to yourself to really optimize your access to your own potential. It's not even an optimization, it's a decision, it's a choice. And also realize that you can't afford, it's a choice to be the next guy that's gonna go, yeah, but you know, sometimes I don't feel like it. No, those times don't exist. That's not real. We've been delusional in this community. People have been delusional. The truth is that you're not aware that you can make a different choice right now. Until you make that choice, it's going to be the same old thing for you. And I'm fed up to see guys go around in circles where they buy now. It should be a fucking miracle, and it can be a miracle. But I was lucky because I had the edge of a foundation, and it's not a little foundation, okay? That's a pretty big fucking foundation to have been around people like Tony Robbins and so on, to really get that different mindset. So when you enter for real. The other aspect of peak performance is to also apply it in your interactions and in your communication, in everything that you do. So you gotta approach, how you approach changing this part of your life from a stronger place. You gotta approach learning it from a stronger place, resolution, dedication, until, if it takes like whatever it takes, is the mindset which has been eroded, and also your interactions like this. And I see it if for whatever reason one day I forget a little bit about that and I'm affected by something and I let my tiredness decide for me and I drag my feet around, I'm gonna let one girl after the other pass by, and even in my primary relationship, it's not gonna be as optimal. What is the second one? The second one is that I grew a profound passion for public speaking. I also wanted to be a teacher, and I started to teach, which found me fairly rapidly teaching different classes at colleges. I was teaching different topics, time efficiency, how to succeed in life, that kind of stuff, all the good stuff. And it found me speaking to groups of people pretty much all day long. The first time I did it, I was sure they didn't like it. I was kind of like sweating it. I was super self-conscious. Some people were saying, we can't hear you back here. And I was, oh, it's okay. But fairly rapidly, I started to notice that from all those hours of improving my delivery, being more impactful as a communicator, that when I took that to a nightclub, see, after a while, there was no erosion anymore because I communicated so much, and I started to do hypnotherapy sessions on the phone or in person, a lot of communication throughout the day. After a while, the erosion of here I am addressing a class and, hey guys, how are you? Here I am talking to girls. That got reduced, and suddenly I started to address girls from that place. So my delivery, body language, use of the voice, and so on, made a profound difference. If that's all that you did, that alone will be very, very, very different. The problem is that maybe you're in a profession that doesn't require for you to speak much or very often. But you gotta be smart. Communication is key. That is the essence of everything in your life. I'm gonna ask you, how often you saw me turn a no into a yes? Be it trying to get into a restaurant, getting a ticket somewhere, getting access on the phone company, you name it. And it's with everything, even family members. Yeah? Yeah. Even your own family members, yeah. My own family members. It's all the fucking time. So grant yourself the gift of masterful communication. What's the assignment? The assignment is speak more often. If you're a guy and you work from home and you spend most of your time in front of a computer, you got to restructure your life and make sure that you take a quick lunch, and wherever you go, you talk. What's the next one? And I'm happy to go into more depth for each one of them. The performance principle. What do I mean by that? Pickup is not a performance, but at the same time, you know, I have a lot of posters of movies I've been in and TV shows I've been on and so on. This is celebrating today the 1-year anniversary of the release of the CNN commercial. The show on CNN was a couple years before that. So here's something that's interesting, guys. And if you're on the call, make sure that you press *6 to be muted. I'm going to mute someone right here. It's a 773 number. If you can mute yourself, you can always unmute by pressing *6. Yeah, we are really multimedia right here. So, but there is an aspect where every aspect of your life is a fucking role, okay? At some point, I was teaching actors how to change their lives, not to act, but I specialized in helping groups that were in the movie industry to become more successful at managing their lives. And with them, it was easy because I just had to tell them one thing. Imagine today, we give you a new script and you really want the role and it's a big movie. And whatever you want to change in your life, the role is a person in the same position and the movie is about how they were able to change it. So all of that to say that everything is a role. The guy that goes, well, you know, I wasn't very social when I was brought up. He's playing a fucking role. The role of I wasn't very social when I grew up. And treat it this way. Everything is a role. So you got to start to play a new role. It's not a performance per se where you will appear to be fake. You got to be as real as can be. A real new role. How about we put it that way? We keep it simple. Because one thing that the 25 years that just went by have taught me, witnessing the birth of the community, is that the biggest problem for most men today is that they don't realize you can't afford sitting on your ass and fucking complaining, and there's way too much of that. You hear guys week after week presenting the same fucking problem because they're lacking accessing something that's already within that goes, you don't like it, change it. Oh, well, that's going to take a lot. And do whatever it fucking takes. But here's what I mean by the performance principle. I was already a performer, and I learned two things from that. And then I'm going to bring it home and start to take some questions. As a music performer, initially I started to play drums in bands when I was 9, 10, 11. There was sometimes an unease. We were all excited, yeah, we're going to perform. And the audience was not that many people, them looking bored, and them not getting into it. And I could feel that unease. And I didn't like it. The same way you don't like it if you start to talk to girls and they're not giving you much. But through the training that I had at Berklee College of Music, Musician Institute of Technology, working with the top musicians on the planet, and I really was lucky there too because some of my music teachers were like world-class, you know, studied with somebody like Jennifer Batten, who was the guitar player of Michael Jackson at the time and so on. That's pretty fucking awesome. What I learned from them is that you gotta flip that around. Even if your audience is half asleep, you can't let that decide. You continue. So the performance principle is too many guys, they depend on people being friendly, people being open already, people participating right away, the girl going, oh my God, you, wow, the way you talk. Hey, I got condoms right here, okay? Right here, do you have a place? Let's go to my car. My car's right over there. I got condoms. See, this one has a cock on it. Yeah, a condom with my cock. Yes. My cock is on a condom. So, there, for me, I always did it differently. I bursted into laughter when I started to hear people talk about IOIs. Because IOIs make you dependent. So you think you're the leader, but you're just a bitch of it. Sure, knowing where the other person is at is important. But as a performer, I have learned that you don't let your audience decide. You do your thing so strong that eventually they will either bail or they will start to fucking melt. So that is the performance principle. The other thing to get good at playing music, you got to come to peace with this. You're going to suck at it first. It's painful to the ears and it's painful to the fingers. But you do it again, you do it again. And to get good, you break it down. You break it down. for example, just one note, and then two notes, and then three notes, and you get good that way. So I brought that into pickup also. And the final ingredient was that teaching different classes, I started to really enjoy improvisation. I had studied it in college, and before I knew it, you know, sometimes you discover you do something very well. I got to teach improvisation classes at 9 colleges around Los Angeles, okay? Couple classes, each one of them. So I started to really become super proficient with improvisation and help people be super proficient. Because any form of interaction, you don't need to really know what you're gonna say when you know how to improvise with whatever is being said. So this was my age in 1995, but that got me while I was in Paris, and all along the trip. You can ask the people that were filming, they will tell you that was fucking insane. From London to Europe, Switzerland to Paris, it was with girls all the fucking time. That girl there in the video turned out to afterwards become the #1 anchor in Italy. One day I put in a poster, a picture of her, vintage picture, and this one guy from Italy goes, "Oh my God, this is Paola so-and-so. Do you know who she is, Vince?" I was like, "No, I got no clue." Okay? She eventually got married, and I remember I called her and she said, "Well, I am married right now, but I will remember you forever. There was nothing ever like you." And then I said, "Oh, wow, say that to your husband." No. And if you're watching this, Paola, well, props to you for becoming such a powerful anchor. And too bad you missed out on your chance. No. So, but anyway, so my point is this. This gave me an edge, and I also had an adult film star back with me at home. We are 25 years after that, and today, this is the most exciting time for you to really thrive with pickup, because we can simplify, again, the 4 pillars that made it possible, okay? I take them in order and implement that in your own life starting today. The first one was peak performance. What does that mean, peak performance? Peak performance is you stop letting the task at hand decide how you should perform. You stop letting how you feel decide how you should perform. Peak performance, you perform like a champion, and you train that every single day. You do everything a little bit better than most people. You do it a little bit longer, and you do it a little bit more often. And you decide to refine every single aspect of your life until it's such a habit that wherever you show up, you got an edge. Women love the man with an edge. Attraction is simple. You got to tap into your own edge. So bring that element of peak performance. For me, it resolved 4 years of like struggling, wrestling, and being frustrated, to suddenly, boom, there we are getting results. And there was no openers, there was no terminology, there was no material on pickup. We didn't even call it pickup, but that did it for me. The second thing is your delivery. Your delivery is everything. Most people, here's the challenge again, they don't know. They think that they're bound to speak a certain way. Or they speak normal, and they see nothing wrong with speaking normal. Normal will not bring you abnormal results. And it is abnormal the results that you want. They're beyond normal. If not, just stop watching this, hang up the call, and fucking find one girl somewhere, settle with her, and 5, 6 years down the road, we see you all pale, carrying the grocery behind her with a little beer belly. And from that place, she's certainly not going to apply herself to look good for a man that looks like shit, okay? And then you just be another couple going down through history with the same old shit. Many men also throughout the years, side note, have made the mistake that they get in a relationship and they don't understand that you're not bound. I would recommend you do that. If you're in a relationship, you still got a game, because as men, we are hunters. You need that feeling. And if you're really committed to your girlfriend or your girlfriends, you bring that to them, but you need that. When men, that's the opposite. If they have that, that dilutes them and they start to feel like shit, okay? Because unless they decide, I'm going to be a fucking whore, I'm going to charge for it. So the dynamic is different. Many feminists would go crazy hearing this right now, but any wise woman that's been around me for some time will attest to that and understand that it makes sense. And so even if you don't want to do that, you still got to work on your game as a man to be able to game her. The third element is that performance thing where you don't let what's in front of you decide for you. You continue regardless, you do your fucking thing, and you do it so well that people start to melt for you. You also got to break it down and know that it may take some time, but you can learn anything. And finally, improvisation. So I want to help you with those things. I want to take questions now, both on the live call, and I will repeat them, and on Zoom as well. Any question about any aspect of your pickup, we're on every single Monday. This is the new format. It will be on all the different media, from iTunes to iTunes. Yeah, iTunes. No, YouTube, everywhere. So what questions would you have today? And if you have a question, that's cool. So would you hand me that beverage, please, love? So if you're on the phone, you unmute and you ask your question. If you're there, you got to unmute yourself also. I want to clarify also when we say I'm not able to unmute. Can you text Chris? Tell him that somehow you're unable to unmute. Let me see if I can unmute you. Maybe I can. Unmute audio. Yes. You should be unmuted, Akash.
Yes, hey Vince, this is Akash. Question,
Okay.
I guess.
Speak up.
Can you hear me? Vince, can you hear me?
We're not
Vince,
hearing
I'm
you.
speaking right now. Are you able to hear me at all?
Try it again.
Yeah, can you hear me now, Vince?
Yeah. I hope you guys could hear me before.
Yeah, we heard you the whole time. So
Good.
awesome. Question is, this past weekend I got 2 kiss closes, 7 number closes. As I look back into the weekend itself, there was areas in which I could improve, but what's the mindset to go as I appreciate and pat myself on the back, but also make sure that I keep going harder than I've gone before as well in the future?
Okay, there you got to watch out, because I also would want to bring the element of superior frames of thinking. That's another aspect of the pillar of peak performance. I embrace superior frames of thinking, and not superior like I am so superior. More superior in a way where it's more practical, it's more organic, and you get greater results. So you got to start to kind of redesign how you describe what you got to do and what's happening. In your description, so his question was, you had, if I'm correct, 3 kiss close and 7 makeouts. Did I get that right? Or was it 1 kiss close, 7 makeout? I got to unmute you again. Here we are.
Yeah, 2 kiss closes and 7 number closes.
Okay, 2 kiss close and 7 numbers. And his question is, how do you basically find the right formula to make sure that you feel good about what you did, but you further that? So here are 3 simple recommendations for that, everybody. Number 1, watch how you phrase it. How you phrase it will set the frame. For example, if we say, I continue to push forward, how many of you guys love to push? What are we going to do? Tomorrow we're going to push. Yeah, maybe a couple of guys that got used to that wording at the gym and they go push, push, yeah? But other than that, it's not the most thrilling thing. So watch, because you could frame things as if you're not in them yet and you got to push to reach the next level, or you treat them, as we do in Aphrodite's Friends, as you're becoming more aware of what's already there. So right there, notice the difference. One guy go, oh man, you know, I got first, let's do the 3 levels that I was talking about. There's always will be one guy, and don't do that, who would go, oh man, I got like two kiss close and 7 numbers, but I didn't get laid. Don't be that guy. Focus on what you already have and more will come. Like attracts like, the rich gets richer. That's a great place to apply this ancient wisdom. On the other hand, we have, so you could be that guy. You could be the guy who goes, yeah, man, that was great. And how do I continue to push myself or move forward a little bit better? Third guy, wow, it's amazing how I'm becoming aware of all that's possible and available for me. I can't imagine where this is going from 2 to 3 to 5. Oh my God, soon I won't be able to have enough time to manage it all. That is the first thing, okay? The second thing is to start to envision what would be the progression. No recommendation, I didn't. That's what you want to avoid. It's important to know what to avoid also. You want to avoid any form of I didn't, I should have. Instead, from the furthest you took it, start to imagine it this way. If we follow the progression from where you were to where you're at, and now that progression continues of its own, like an airplane taking off, okay? See, there's a time when the airplane is still kind of touching the ground, but not that much more, less. And then it's picking up, and now it's up in the air. But once it's on that trajectory, the gap will be greater and greater in a good way, okay? Elevation. So start to project, okay, where is this gonna bring me as I continue? And as you do that, then here's one of my secrets. No matter where I'm at, and I don't only do that with pickup and seduction, I do it everywhere. I rehearse in my head and out loud the craziest ever. So for example, you talk to a girl and you go, wow, it was great meeting you. You got done number closing and you go, here, let me give you a little hug. And she's a little uncomfortable and you give a hug, okay? And then don't be the guy who goes home, oh man, I could have kissed her. Don't be the guy who goes, oh man, that was so great, I got a phone number, yeah. Be the guy who goes, that was awesome. Now, let me rehearse, even though I may never do it or I may not do it right now, let me rehearse in my own head the craziest, okay? So here I am, I number closer, I shake her hand and I go, what are we doing? We're gonna die one day. Here, don't say a thing. You're about to be kissed. Now, we could keep it at this and go, oh my God, that was a lovely kiss, and you will think about it. Or we could further that idea of not being silly, and we could relocate. I know this is so crazy, and I know I'm totally putting you on the spot. And I know that most people would probably not say, fuck yes, I'm following you home, even though I hardly know you, but you don't seem like most people. And listen, if this is too much for me, if you think this is too crazy, that's fine. I'll just go and cry at home for the next 17 years. But seriously, I know I'm talking a lot of shit, but you gotta ask yourself, am I the one talking shit, or are those other people out there that could not seize an opportunity, that are only going to see it on the screen and cry and go, oh my God, that was such a good movie, okay? Now, you may not pull that, but you rehearse it. And then if you rehearse that in your own mind, rehearse something even crazier. Even crazier would be, if you put your lips in front of me, I'm going to kiss them. I want your ear. Good, listen. Now, I don't beat around the bush. If this is too much for you, start to back away. But if you're saying right here and right now, you really thought you could be that close to me without my hands starting to touch you? And isn't the world silly? We're okay being touched here, but it would be inappropriate if I touched you here. Most people would be, are you out of your mind? Okay? Even if you never do that, guys, you got to rehearse it. Your pickup should always be ahead in your own mind. Let's contrast that for a moment, because it doesn't matter even if today we say we're going to reveal the fucking secret of the universe. That's it. We got it. We have an explanation at last for it all. And when you hear the explanation, you're going to be, wow, okay? It still would not be easy to communicate it because we're constantly exposed to information. So process this today from a new perspective, everybody. Process this from a new place. And hear this, part of peak performance is to know it's almost a way to invest at any given time. You have three things. I have three things, she has three things, you have three things, okay? And I'm not talking about two balls and my dick, but three things. We have a certain amount of energy, and it's not, it's a parameter, okay? At some point we need to recharge energy. We have the ability to focus not only in the world with our eyes, what we look at, but focus in terms of perspective. How do we perceive things? What aspect of one thing we put our attention towards, okay? So energy, focus, and the third one, that one we can't do much about it. You can still play with the sense of it, but it's time 24 hours. You have this every day, I have this every day. This is kind of what we have to play with at a primary level. So you gotta be very mindful, where do you direct that? And the challenge with many in the community is that they direct all of that towards what they haven't done, towards what they cannot do, towards what they should do, the reasons why they haven't done it, an explanation of why that's fucking happening, and well, congratulations, you have just wasted your precious energy, focus, and fucking time towards the wrong thing. But if you shift that towards, I'm not doing it yet, but I'm free in my own mind to imagine whatever I want. In your own mind, you can see bills pouring from the sky. You can imagine girls around the block on their knees, screaming your name, two of them saying, no, he's mine, fuck you, bitch, I was here first. You are free, you can see anything you want in your mind. So why not put all of your focus towards what will help you? And at some point, you gotta ask yourself, are you for you or are you against you? No more of those guys who keep on insisting. Today I had another motherfucker on the phone tell me, I don't think you understand me. Really? Really? Maybe I don't fucking understand you. But what you gotta understand is that if you hope that you're gonna go through the world and succeed and that people will understand you, plus do you understand me for not understanding you? So what are we gonna do? Play the victim game? Oh, you don't understand me? No, you don't understand me. No, you don't understand me. Nobody understands me. No, you gotta fucking step it up, okay? So, I'm ready for one more quick question. We're at 45. Actually, I want to make sure that it's easy for you to watch the replay, rewatch. I can take one more question after an announcement. This is the best time ever for you to be on board. What will it really take? What it will take is that you can't waste time. So you should really pay attention to what will best and most support you, okay? First, show me one guy in this community that can say, Vince Kelvin, here's my 1995 video of me doing pickup with my friends around going, here he goes again, he's at it again. And oh, by the way, this is my porn star girlfriend at home, and this is the Italian girl that I just pulled. And it's winter time. She's got a big coat, but on the video, there's a picture of her without the coat, and she was quite a prima donna. But, so show me one guy. No. Now, if there were guys that came after that, where the fuck are they today? Can they say, and this is my current girlfriend, she was 5 when I was filming that, okay? I'm not here to brag, but I want to tell you something. Personally, experience makes a difference, okay? Experience, because there might be a couple of guys that are pretty good out there and they got pretty good ideas, or they're rocking it every night in a nightclub, but it's gonna come short because they cannot put it in the big picture. They cannot foresee where that would go afterwards. They cannot see the byproducts of it, the ramification, all of that stuff, okay? So honestly, If you really so dislike me, why the fuck are you watching this? But if you are watching and you're committed about, if it's not a question of me, it's a question of you. If you're really committed, join my brothers. Join my brothers, Akash, Christian, Will, Jose. Those guys, we're on every single day. It's brief, it's alpha, it's an acceleration program. It's called Aphrodite Sprints. There's Army of Aphrodite. We're on every single day. We're on once a week with a different format. So it's daily, weekly, and monthly, once a month with a big event, okay? There's a link, and I will also grant you one private session plus access to the library for anybody who goes to seductioncoaching.com. That's right, if you were listening or watching now, seductioncoaching.com. It's the acceleration program to save you sometimes. There's nothing like it ever on the planet. It's an absolute, total, complete must. Maybe we can have Akash step up for a second. Can I put you on the spot, Akash? And if some of you that are watching that are members want to tell guys that are not members yet about the program and what it's doing for you, your take on it.
Yeah, Vince, can you hear me?
We can hear you, yes.
Awesome. Yeah, I just want to say, Vince, thank you so much. I've been studying for everyone else, I've been studying with Vince for about 2 years now. I first met him at a boot camp in New York. And ever since then, I took the plunge, and I've committed myself to every single thing that Vince has said to do. And the results are astonishing, not only in my pickup and seduction, but in my business, in all aspects of my life. So Vince, thank you so much.
Yeah, and thank you. Akash got his first time teaching with me in New York. He also has his own podcast. It's quite incredible. Who else do we have that would be comfortable to quickly just let the guys know about this the program? I don't need to put anybody on the spot, but unless you're naked, if you're not dressed right now. I see Christian. Christian, are you suitable? Are you dressed or? We cannot hear him. Christian Delgado. He might be sleeping in the background. This man works very hard and spends a lot of time in nightclubs with girls.
Yes, Mr. Vince Kelvin. I am here, live in the flesh. Yeah, man. Holy cow. One thing I can say about Vince, man, that really impacted me when I hung out with him over in San Francisco a month ago. Something shifted. Something clicked in my mindset. I'm able to tap into like this new energy where I'm operating on 4 to 5 hours of sleep each night and really just going like full force and tackling every little thing that, you know, in my life, you know, whether it be pickup, business, relationships, family, any little thing, even going to like the bathroom, like full force.
And what's your take on checking in every day? Because you and I, we do check in every day. And so what's your take on that opportunity to be able to check in every single day?
Oh, the coaching calls, man! It's priceless. It's priceless because, these past 5 weeks, man, like it's not a straight line. You're gonna hit these little loops, these little like fluctuations, and it's the law of the pendulum. And notice, man, like in the low vibration side, man, having the ability to call you like anytime is, you can't put a price on it because, man, if without the phone call, most people would be, so it's something that people should really like take into account, is that they need coaching to get through and have a real breakthrough. Someone who's been through it and can show them the way. Yeah, man. Thank you, Vince. Holy.
Yeah, well, thank you, Christian. I don't want to take too much of the time, and I really appreciate you guys. I'm open and ready for one final question, if there is one, or on the phone. Callers on the phone, any questions? And if okay, maybe the person has muted all participants. Let me see. What am I doing?
Hey, Vince.
Can
Can you hear me, Vince? It's Tony here.
Okay,
Hello,
we got
Vince.
Tony. Yeah, so I got somebody on the phone and I got somebody on the screen as well. Just bear with me on the screen. Sultan, ask your question, and then next week maybe you can be on the streaming as well. So meanwhile, what is your question, Sultan? And I put you on speaker so everybody can hear it. Okay, Sultan, can we hear you? Okay, he might be muted, so I pass it to Tony.
Hey, Vince, how you going?
Tony, how are you?
Awesome, Vince. It's great to be back too, and I just want to say that I've had phenomenal results in the past with the one-on-one coaching and your programs for anybody else out there. So I'd like to talk about the difference between interactions between like at a club and during the day, because they seem very different. How would you recommend more in the conversation?
Okay, I think that we got to avoid differentiating so much at that level. I think it's important to be aware of the dynamic at the time, okay? Because it's not a matter of day or night, it's more of a matter of the moment. What does the moment call for? The moment is essential. For example, you could be walking around at 7 p.m. here on a Friday night in Los Angeles, and it's a blend of three types of people. People who are still like finishing work and they're a little beat and they just can't wait to be home. You also, and that's here in LA. People that are kind of already preparing for the evening, but they're on a mission. They got to go meet somebody, quickly change, trying to make it to the gym before they go out. And people that are already out, okay? So when I say the principle of performance, the performance principle, for me, if you ask me, if you watch that video, it's daytime in Paris, okay? And first, I noticed the candidate because she's doing something that nobody else is doing. Everybody's taking pictures of the Eiffel Tower. She's taking a picture of flowers, okay? So that grabbed my attention. But already then, that's part of why I shared that pillar. I would not let what I have in front of me impact what I'm doing. You want to be aware, but there's a fine line, because what matters is that if you did something weird and you're unaware of it, then that's weird, okay? If, for example, somebody is there and everybody's pretty quiet and he's talking pretty loud, but the guy's got no fucking idea that everybody else is quiet and he's talking pretty loud, that's a problem. That's a turn off. The guy is unaware. So you don't want to be that. If you're a guy, you're aware that nobody else is talking and you start to think you should do something different and you don't really feel that you're doing what you should be doing, that's also weird. If you're a guy, you want to impact people and everybody's quiet and you go, I'm the only one who's loud here, forgive me. Oh, I didn't realize it's a silent party. Then as you do that, you notice one person will be unaware of what you just did. That person could witness a building explode and they saw in their own thing and head that they would not notice it. Another person is going to dislike it. Oh, I hate it when people do that. Yeah. That person was not going to be the right candidate. Okay? This is stage hypnosis. And then you're going to have a person that's going to openly look, but they're pretty passive and submissive. If you go and you talk to them, they're not going to go against it because they're open already. And then you're always going to have a person that's going to laugh about it and you go, I know, I'm loud, I'm such a pest. And she's going to like it. So to find out who are your candidates, to find out how they're going to respond, to find out if they are ready for you, because you got to have that frame more solid, okay? You are you're the one who's going to sort them. You're not the seeker. You're being sought. In the days of kings, the king would line them up, and oftentimes he'd be like, no, none of them, okay? So from that perspective, you toss however the fuck you please. You're demonstrating social intelligence because People can tell that you're aware you're doing something different. If they're not sure, you're not sure if they're aware, you say it, you go, I know, look at me. I'm acting like we're in a nightclub and we're in a store, my darling. Look at me, I'm acting like I'm in a nightclub. There's a video of me where a girl is in a window in a store in San Francisco, and I start to dance in front of the window like that. I'm not in a nightclub, it's daytime. Remember, you gotta always assess what the condition is. I finish with this. You gotta know what the condition is, and you also wanna know what the core attraction is. The condition is that through a succession of changes in the world during the past 100 years, men who forever had the solution with women, just be the strongest and you'll get the women, okay? Fight, win, get the fucking women. That's it. Or have more land, or be a harder worker. It was not such a big deal to get women prior, all right? And when men were fighters, if they didn't have a woman, they said, I need a woman, like, I'm hungry, this is my land, back away, okay? There was a lot more of that back then. But suddenly, you know, the me generation, the swingers, gay, whatever, you know, so many fucking changes that now powerful men don't know what to do. So they're like, is it okay to do this at night during the day? How do I? And that is unattractive. Okay? So the condition is that we as men have been doubting ourselves for too long. We as men have been trying to please, to say the right thing, to do the right thing. And at that level, if you ever deal with a girl and it's her birthday or it's Valentine and you want to do the right thing, you won't be able to do the right thing at that level. It's going to be the wrong flower. It's going to be too many flowers. It's going to be, well, too late, too soon, not enough, too much, this, that, because they too know. They know that it's not what matters, because all of that is fake. All of that is like trying to sell a car. I once sold a shit car. The transmission is about to break on my car. I go, oh, fuck. I'm in my early 20s. I don't know what to do. I go, okay, car runs good, a little ad. The person shows up and I'm like, yeah, the car is good. And I could tell that they could tell. And after that, I go, no, the car is a piece of shit. Give me whatever you want. If you don't want it, cool. I just couldn't, okay? So too many guys, that's what they so communicate to girls. Oh, is it okay? Now, the core is the guy who's more affirmed. The condition is being too concerned. Stop being so concerned. At night, plus also to crystallize. See, a nightclub could range from, in New York, we went to 255th. Such a beautiful experience. You facing the Empire State Building, people are more elegant on the rooftop, elegant in their ways, you know. Nobody bullied, nobody was going crazy. The floor below was a little more your average nightclub scene. But that top floor, for me, that was like, wow. They didn't also play games at the entrance. You either would stand in line and you could go in, unless you caused too much trouble, or you paid $40 and you could go straight in, or you got a table and the table are reasonably priced. Prop to that place, I fucking loved it. Now you could go to another nightclub where first they treat you like fucking animals at the entrance. No, step back, wait, turn. They pat you like it's like wannabe former cops, Lord knows what, and you feel all weird and it's all dark and you fucking don't know where to stand. And here in LA, it's like you're in a cloud of weed. You go, I didn't think this club should be called Club Fung. I can't breathe, okay? So you gotta stop going night, day. You could be at night walking around. I cured the thing with day game. If you have a challenge doing day game, but you do night game, relocate to a Scandinavian country during those days where it's 2 fucking a.m. and it's still light outside. So then are you doing night game or are you doing day game? I think I made my point. Go to seductioncoaching.com and really hear me, okay? I'm being called the godfather in this community, so it's only fair that I make you an offer you can't refuse, okay? First, go watch that video. Put Vince Kelvin 1995. We'll go to Vince Kelvin channel on YouTube, subscribe. We're uploading new videos all the time, every day, every single day, okay? So, once you've done this, decide whether or not this thing is important for you. If you really hate me, I won't take it personally because I don't take things personally. But then, you want the best deal for your money. You're going to get one private session per month. You're going to get my entire library, and you're going to get to gather with me like this every single night, 7 nights a week to ask questions, different topics. You're going to have the monthly event, all of this. And I think right now it's at 129. Click on seductioncoaching.com. If you're the guy who goes, can I get more information? Then we'll give you a tampon, because if you want it, fucking get it. Thank you, all of my brothers who are members of Aphrodite Trance. Thank you. I've been looking at this fucking belly for the whole time. Here's what you get. All right, my girlfriend Shannon. Thank you guys. We love you tremendously. And now I got to synchronize doing both. So we're back at it tomorrow night for the members only. Thank you.